mother left Vlad, he was in the 3rd grade. At that age, children do not understand much, but they put a lot of things in their heads, and then they are haunted throughout their lives. There was resentment lurking in Vlad's heart against his mother, and all she wanted at that time was to change her life. Neely realized that she was sick and tired of her husband, who was always drunk, and tired of her mother-in-law's grumbling, and her house, which was devoid of even a hint of comfort. Her only comfort was her son. But the moment her lover asked her to live with him, she didn't hesitate for a second to agree, even though Gennady made her a condition. She leaves her son to his father. She decided that first they would start living together, and then she would take Vlad away. But Gennady did not want to hear about children, much less her son. At first he convinced her that they should live for themselves, and over time Helena even liked the idea. She sometimes called her son, often wrote to him. She knew that he was getting older every year, and even missed him. However, she found her woman's happiness and did not want to lose it, and she also did not want to annoy Gennady, and so she did not visit her son. Time passed, the grandmother tried her best to put her grandson on his feet. The boy was saved by the fact that by this time his father, Yegor, gave up drinking and started working. Naturally, the years of alcoholism severely undermined his father's health, so when the boy turned 20 he left after his grandmother. Vadim grew up to be a smart and independent guy. He graduated from university, found a great job, got a family. First he and his wife had 1 child, and 2 years later the second. Elena knew everything perfectly well about her son's life, as she was constantly talking to him on the phone or Skype. But there was no emotional intimacy between mother and son, they communicated like old buddies. Grandmother did not communicate with her grandchildren, she just saw them a few times when they were talking to her son on Skype, and that was it. Maybe deep in her heart she thought that at that time she acted rashly, but even she was afraid to admit it to herself. With Gennady they have not acquired their children, and passion subsided over the years, each lived his own life. They met only in the evening or in the morning in the kitchen, like old dormitory neighbors. One morning Elena, as they say, hit, and she woke up from a feeling of terrible loneliness, her own uselessness and the realization that her life had been wasted. Then she went to the airport. In one fell swoop, Elena gave up her past life and headed home. But no one was waiting for her there, of course, and no one slammed the door in her face. Her son let Helena into the house, they even set the table in honor of her arrival. But it was not a long-awaited meeting, neither for her nor for her son, they just sat and talked about nothing. Such conversation is maintained purely out of politeness. Then, purely out of politeness, Vlad offered to spend the night with his mother, but before that he asked her when she was coming home. "Can I stay if you want me to?" Elena said, barely audibly. "I've been dreaming about it for years," Vlad told her. "For years, I even cried into my pillow like a girl. But that was a long time ago, I don't want that now. You probably won't ever be able to forgive me," Elena answered her son. "I gave you up myself, but maybe you let me at least try to be a grandmother to your children, since I failed to be a mother to you. There's no one waiting for you here. You'll play with them, and then you'll throw them out of your life, just like you did me. I will not forbid you to see your grandchildren, but you do not need to interfere in my family, you made your choice years ago." 2 days later Elena flew away to Gennady. When she returned to her husband no one asked her about her trip or even hugged her, as they had long been strangers to each other. She was also a stranger to her son, but she knew one thing for sure, that she would definitely visit her son again, maybe even stay with him forever. Maybe she would be able, at least one day, to get his forgiveness, and he would cease to be a stranger to her.